Good evening, good evening. It's Wednesday and it's 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. It's time for another edition of Open Action Network's Friend of a Wounded Heart program. Before we begin, let me say a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for keeping us safely through this day. And we ask you, as we go into this evening's program, that you be with us, that you keep our connectivity flowing, that you keep our discussions lively and educational. And at the end of it all, may we be better off. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Yes, welcome to our program this evening. Welcome to another edition of Hope and Action Network's Friend of a Wounded Heart program. It is our pleasure to come to you week after week as we discuss issues, as we discuss very important matters, as we share our ideas. But why are we here? We are here every week because Hope and Action Network's vision is a better society built on strong foundations through the empowerment of everyone. So every week we seek to empower by the things that we discuss. What have we done so far? Well, we are on session 140. It means that we've done 139 sessions so far, and we have recorded our sessions. They are on Hope and Action Network's Facebook page. They are on my Facebook page, Joan Bobb-Ward. They are on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Just type in Hope and Action Network or Friend of a Wounded Heart, and you will find the recordings. And when you find them, please share so that others could benefit from what we discuss. For the past 6 sessions or 5 sessions, we also did some very important topics. On June 18th, 6:30 is not dark, and this was a session dedicated to our men. It was followed by another session that was dedicated to men. That one was called And Being Health 1. And we had a guest doctor who dealt with health issues. He was unable to complete it in one session, so he returned the following week and Being Health 2. That was on the 2nd of July. On July 9th, we told our women, don't hit him. And this is because research has shown that women do hit out. Women are the aggressors in many instances of domestic violence. Women don't hit him. This week, our session is entitled, All That Glitters Is Not Gold. All that glitters is not gold. And I'm going to read something from Shakespeare. And we know Shakespeare died a long time ago. However, his writings live on. And Shakespeare, in one of his plays, The Merchant of Venice, Act 2 and Scene 7, said, all that glitters is not gold. Often you have heard that told. Many a man his life hath sold, but my outside to behold. Gilded tombs do worms enfold. Had you been as wise as bold, young in limbs, in judgment old, your answer had not been enscrolled. Fare you well, your suit is cold. And well, Shakespearean language is sometimes said to be difficult to understand, but clearly we understand what he was saying there. He said, all that glitters is gold. You have heard it said so many times. And many men have sold their lives. He went on to say, gilded tombs, pretty tombs. What is inside of them? He said, worms. And let's ponder on that for a moment. He's saying all that glitters is not gold. And some of those pretty golden tombs that you'll be look at and say, that's pretty. What's on the inside? Worms. Worms. Shakespeare was a wise man. And Shakespeare's sentiments have been echoed by many others down through the ages. Bob Marley used that line, all that glitters is not gold, in one of his songs. And there are many plays and other songs in which that sentence rings out. All that glitters is not gold. I'm sure we've heard the term, have we not? Sharon, I'm sure mommy would have told you that. Maybe not in those words. I'm sure you would have heard it from your teachers, or you might have heard it in
Yeah.
church. Tell me.
Yes. Your relatives.
Yes.
Yes. Hmm.
I wonder,
Even even like older women, they will tell you all that glitter is not gold.
when they're talking about what? What are they referring to specifically, Sharon? When they
Mm.
tell you
Oh,
all that glitters is, tell me, all that
okay.
glitters is not gold.
Sometimes I'm being real. You might see this guy, you like the guy, and the person presenting with, something that give you butterflies in your stomach. And they might be telling an older friend or older sister who might know something more than you know. And
Mhm.
then they might be telling you, all that glitter is not gold, eh? It have more behind that.
Yes.
So I don't know
Yes.
if anyone on the platform ever experienced somebody telling them all that glitters is not gold.
Well, Sharon has thrown out a question to people on the platform. Have you ever been told, or have you ever had the experience of thinking that something is gold, and then when you explore it, when you examine it, you realize, hey, this is not gold? Anybody? Shine, some people don't say anything when they come on. They just listen, but we be glad for the listeners.
I guess they're a bit shy.
That, that's all right. But it's okay. It's okay to share your views. It's okay.
Hi, good night.
Yes, Cheryl.
It wasn't told to me, but I know my grandparents and my mom always tell, I always hear them saying that either to my sisters and just while they are speaking.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Cheryl. And very often when it is said to a young lady is when she sees a nice young man and she thinks, wow, that's my Prince Charming. And the older folks who are wiser, they sometimes tell us all that glitters is not gold. Yes, he's handsome. But as Shakespeare said, gilded tombs doth worms enfold. So the two might be pretty, pretty beautiful, well designed. But what's inside of it? Worms, worms, worms. Yes, so this evening we're really going to get into that topic, and we're gonna touch on a number of issues that we see happening around us. We think we have to warn society and warn people about looking at things that seem to be attractive and then becoming trapped. There is something called fool's gold. There is something that's actually called fool's gold. It's a substance. Fool's gold is a nickname for that substance. The substance is really called pyrite, Pyrite. It is made up of iron and sulfur. It gets its name because it really resembles gold. It resembles gold. It has the same metallic brilliance, and it is pale brass yellow in color, but it is different from gold. However, it appears to be gold. It looks like gold. But there's a difference between gold and pyrite. And here are the differences. Now, gold is a pure element. It's pure. But pyrite is made up of iron and sulfur. Both of them are not man-made, eh? They are all found in their natural forms. Nobody makes pyrite, nobody makes gold. They're both found in the earth. Gold is pure, a pure element by itself, whereas Pyrite is made up of iron and sulfur. When you scrape it against porcelain that has no glaze on it, gold leaves a yellowish streak, a golden yellow streak on that porcelain. But the porcelain must not be polished, it must be pure porcelain. So you scrape the gold on it, it leaves a yellow gold streak. But pyrite leaves a dark greenish black streak. So there is a difference. So you see, we have to test things out. This is what it's saying to us, All that glitters is not gold, and we have to check to see what is gold and what is fool's gold. Remember I said pyrite is called fool's gold. In terms of their hardness, gold is relatively soft and can be scratched or dented. But pyrite is hard and it is more brittle. In terms of value, gold has a high monetary value, but pyrite is worth almost nothing. See, in terms of appearance, but both of them appear to be yellowish, but pyrite is often a little more brassy than gold. Gold is found in its natural form, and gold can be of different colors. However, pyrite is usually one color. It looks like the yellow gold. Essentially, many people who mine for gold, who go digging and searching for gold, find pyrite and think it's gold. And that is how it got its name, fool's gold. All that glitters is not gold. And sometimes when we are searching for things, sometimes when we find things, what we are finding is pyrite or fool's gold and not gold. Now remember, we're still inviting you to step in and tell us if you've heard it said, if you've heard the term, if you have experienced picking up pyrite instead of gold, you can tell us. Don't be shy now. Sharon and Cheryl already shared, so we're asking others to step in if you wish to make a contribution. All that glitters is not gold. Many of us are on social media. Unmute or put your hand up if you wish to speak, and I'll stop and give you the opportunity. Now we are on social media. Most of us on social media. And we are seeing in our country some instances of people thinking that they've found gold when in fact it's pyrite. I saw recently where a man took his family to Mova, Las Alturas, to meet somebody to purchase a vehicle. They were all beaten and robbed. And this is not the first instance. In fact, it's happening almost every week. Somebody's reporting that they lost $35,000, or they were beaten. They went to purchase a car in Barataria, or they went to purchase a car in Arima. And in fact, a young man lost his life recently up in this area. He went to purchase a vehicle. His body was found sometime afterwards. All that glitters is not gold. So we see the advertisements, we see the attractive advertisements. Facebook Marketplace is one of the places where people go, find things and get themselves into trouble. Now, Facebook Marketplace is real. And people are able to purchase many things on Facebook Marketplace. However, we have to be cautious. We have to be extremely cautious. So too many times we're seeing in the news where this person is saying that they lost $50,000 because they went to purchase a vehicle, and that other person is saying, I lost this amount of money because I saw this advertisement and I went to get it. and I was robbed. In fact, I saw a gentleman, I had to smile. It's not a laughing matter, really, but he was reading a story about somebody who was robbed because they went to purchase something and they carried a large sum of money with them. And the man was saying, I predict that this will happen next week. And when the next person was robbed in the same manner, the gentleman says, see, I am good, I am psychic, I predicted it. Now, he was not psychic, but because people are not learning from other people's misfortunes, other people's experiences, it is happening again and again and again. So we see people jumping to go to purchase items. Sometimes it's cars. And to me, it happens very often with cars, where people would see a car for a 20,000 or 40,000 or 35,000. And they go to the bank, withdraw their money, take it with them to meet strangers to purchase. And what happens? They are robbed at gunpoint. They are robbed at knife point. They are beaten. Sometimes even the vehicle in which they travel is stolen. They lose their vehicles as well. They go to purchase things, trusting people, expecting these people to be honest. Well, these are not the days for us to expect everybody to be honest. So it is happening with vehicles. It is happening with phones. So somebody advertises an iPhone for cheap, and people run to go purchase, and they are robbed. It's happening, and the police, they keep warning people, do not go to meet strangers. Do not. But people don't obey. People do not obey. We need to learn from other people's experiences and exercise wisdom. Sometimes they see appliances as well for sale, electronics. I saw one instance with a television or 2 television sets. People take their hard-earned dollars and go to bandits, and they lose their money. Sometimes they lose their lives. Sometimes the vehicle in which they traveled is also stolen. It's taken away from them. Does anybody want to step in? Have you heard of any such stories? You want to comment at this point? Why do we have a quiet room?
Good night, Dr. Bob.
Yes, Bishop.
And others that are online. So these things has happened in Trinidad and Tobago concerning.
Oh, it's happening all the time, Bishop. It's happening all the time in Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, well, since I'm living here over 40-something years, I've never heard of anything like that in St. Vincent. So I can be corrected, but I've never heard anything like that. So we have to thank the Lord for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where God lives.
He lives here too. I always tell you, he lives here too. Yeah, too. But you see, if there are no buyers, there's no market. If people do not fall for that, then the bandits will not be able to execute their exploits. But I'm thankful that it's not happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but it's Grenadines. So it's happening here regularly.
Question, Joan.
Yes, Sharon.
Sorry. I'm just wondering to know if St. Vincent only have gold. All that glitters there is gold. I'm just wondering. That's a provoking question.
Bishop Charles, it seems as though everything that glitters in St. Vincent is gold. Are you saying that?
No, you have silver and you have bronze.
I see. And Mr. Sharp is here as well. Mr. Sharp, you logged in late, but we're discussing the topic, all that glitters is not gold. And I read from Shakespeare as because he used it in one of his plays, The Merchant of Venice, Act 2, Scene 7, where he said, all that glitters is not gold. Often you have heard it told. Many a man his life has sold, but my outside to behold. Gilded tombs doth worms enfold, and he continues, to express himself, explaining that all that glitters, it might seem to be beautiful, it might seem to be real, but it very often is not. And we spoke about people going out, looking at advertisements, and going out to purchase a car with $35,000 in their pocket. And I see the attorney at law, Eustace, is here. Yes, Eustace, people go out and you all warn them, don't do it. Don't go to meet people, and they do it. They go. One man took his family and they were all beaten and robbed. Sometimes they lose the vehicle in which they travel. They lose their possessions. And in some instances, they lose their lives. Eustace, I saw that you're unmuted, so go ahead, please.
Yeah, it's really a dangerous thing to do. I could tell you about one instance some years ago. I had a schoolmate of mine went to Trinidad. He didn't know who he was going to speak with or nothing like that. He went to Trinidad with thousands of dollars in his pocket. He lost his life.
Yeah.
And I can give you another example again recently. A friend of mine saw an advertisement on Facebook. He spoke with the person on Facebook, and through a lawyer and all, he made a down payment of $50,000 for a truck. Up to now, he can't even see the truck. But when persons engage in such purchases, you should engage in a form of due diligence. You should ensure that you do a physical inspection of this thing. Also, you'll want some form of documentation that goes for all forms of property. Land, whether it be land, whether it be a vehicle, whether it be shares in a company, make sure you go through all of your due diligence. As a matter of fact, it might be better you get a lawyer or a search clerk in some instances to ensure that you do the necessary due diligence, to ensure that you have a good root of title for whatever item that you are purchasing. Right?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Brother Forbes. Yes, I see Glenda unmuted.
Yeah, I find it's very dumb. I think for adults, we shouldn't be so stupid. How could you tell somebody that, you come in? I remember the incident that the gentleman spoke about. It was a young man from Tobago. I think he was a fireman. And it was very painful for Tobagonians. And it's sad that people would take that type of risk. And even in friendship, all that glitters is not gold, because it has been said that the young lady who was killed here not long ago, it was her friend who picked her up, and they found her dead in Wallerfield. And a young man right here in Red Hill, his friend. So all that glitters isn't gold, even like that. Don't trust people just so where money is concerned. Don't tell, well, you're going to buy this and your friend come to pick you up and the friend know you have 50,000 or you have to, what? You're getting killed for less than that. So I think we have to be more wise. Even if you're going, your friend don't have to know you have no money. That's how I see it. I could be wrong.
I would just like to add, if you're going to do a transaction like that, make the transaction in the bank or by the police station. You know that there is a paper trail and you put yourself at risk
Yeah.
Don't go no back alley and you don't do that. All
You
right?
know, I remember
So
this story of the three little pigs. Remember that story?
certainly, man.
Yes.
Certainly.
There was some level of wisdom in the third pig. The third pig used some strategy so that he would not be caught. And he eventually caught the wolf, I think it was. You know, he gave different times, he moved earlier, he did things differently. We have to be wise, and Glenda was spot on with that, and Eustace as well. We have to be wise. We have to exercise wisdom. Listen to what he said. The police officers keep warning people, do not get into these transactions. Do not meet people. You're leaving your home wherever in Central. And this man who took his wife and son, I was so upset with him. Eh? They were all beaten and robbed. Listen, listen, all that glitters is not gold. When we pass by the pretty tombs, let's remember, as Shakespeare said, gilded tombs doth worms enfold. In fact, what's inside of that looks so pretty? Worms. All that glitters is not gold. So we talked about meeting people to purchase items, and some instances cars. That seems to be the popular one. iPhones and appliances and television sets and so on. Come on, they're advertised on Marketplace, and yes, we think that people are honest and real and so on, but the reality is that people are not. Some people are very, very dishonest, and so we have to be very careful. Now,
So Dr. Bob,
yes, Bishop.
instead of cash, you can make a check because recently I bought a car about five months now. A friend of mine told me that this lady was going back to the US. I did not really see the car personally, but I asked my son to check it out.
Right.
And she didn't have any special place to park it. It was not safe for parking. And well, there was somebody else before me who wanted to buy the car. They gave him a deadline, but he could not get the money from the bank. So I was the person who was able to get it. So I think it was an act of the Lord. I really needed something. My son was trying to get something online, but he usually procrastinates. So I paid them in two checks for different banks, because to work with so much money, I don't think it's wise. It was paid in
It is
check.
not wise. It's not wise. But I want to
But make
congratulate you.
sure you cross your check though, and don't have
Yes.
an open check.
Yes,
Make
so
sure
that you
you
could
cross it.
cancel. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But congratulations on your purchase. So now we have transport when we come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you so much.
Amen. Anytime.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, so we talked about the material things, but sometimes the gold comes in other forms, and somebody alluded to it earlier. Sometimes relationships, and there are dating sites advertised as well on social media. There is one that the men go out, or they're caught up with that one. Can't remember the name of it, but I'm sure the attorney at law might remember it. It's in Trinidad and Tobago, and it's really one for homosexuals. And some of them have lost their possessions, have been beaten and robbed because they're going to meet a partner who they found on this dating site. It is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. And then when they're beaten and their car is taken and their phones and their money and so on, they go to report it to the police. Even well, we don't support homosexuality on this program. We don't. We believe in Jesus, the friend of a wounded heart, and we believe in relationships that the Bible promotes. So we're saying, even when relationships are on offer, a handsome man is being advertised on a dating site, we have to exercise caution as well. We have to do our research. And online dating has become popular. However, all that glitters is not gold. We might be going after pyrite, something that resembles gold but has no value, something that is worthless, looks like gold, but it ain't it. We have to be extremely cautious about that. Do our research, find out, background checks, ask the police. Might be somebody with a record that we're picking up. And it might be somebody with other things that we don't want. It might be somebody who is after something else. Your money, your house, your car, or something else. So we have to be cautious about that as well. Careful about meeting people who you don't know. Be careful about that as well.
Sister Joan, not
Yes.
only if you, I like brass, I have brass articles. And if you polish brass real good, it could fool you.
Right.
And even in friendships, as you mentioned, someone mentioned, and I believe that too, even in friendships, when you think you have gold, you could have brass.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to, relationships have to be tested and tried. And especially this online dating, I afraid that I can't see myself getting afraid. Because there is so many things you hear that happen to people that I don't think it's a good thing, but people seem to be okay with it. But how, if you might meet somebody and you will get close and everything looking like gold, and then one day you find out it's brass.
Mm-hmm.
How you sort that out? Because you're done shining it up and it looking like gold. So
It might be pyrite or fool's gold. Yeah.
What do you call it?
Pyrite. That's the name of the substance that looks like gold, but it's really a mixture of iron and sulfur. And it's worthless. It's not worth anything. But it looks like gold. And you said when you polish your brass items, they look like gold as well.
Okay. And it has last long looking like gold. So all these things make you wonder how you really. I personally believe God have to be in it. God have to be in it.
Yeah.
You have to pray and pray and pray and be guided by God. If not, you certainly will buy brass.
Indeed. Thanks for that contribution. Yeah, does anybody else want to come in here? All that glitters is not gold. Be careful about the relationship baits. Be very, very careful. Be careful.
Yes, Dr. Ward.
Yes,
Good night. Yeah, just following the conversation as we go along. But I just want to make this point that when we understand what dating and relationship is all about, that cannot happen online. You could never date or develop a relationship with someone online. That is not possible. Right? There is a text in the Bible that says, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge." Right? And when we truly understand the meaning of dating and forming relationship, that is not possible online. So I just want to, for all of us who are on the call tonight, to educate those who we come in contact with, right? Especially if you're looking for a life companion, you're treading along a thin line, very thin line, trying to find a relationship online.
But Sylvester, you can meet someone online. And in fact, just before I started Friend of a Wounded Heart, I developed all that I needed to start a Christian dating site. However, because Trinidad and Tobago was becoming so dangerous and because people are so dishonest, I decided to just abandon the idea. I still have the promotional flyer and all of that on my computer, but I did not want to put anybody at risk. Yes, we might say it's for Christians, but you never know who will step into it and pretend to be a Christian. And, somebody might get into trouble. So I decided, no, I just did not want to do it.
It's sad because there are a lot of lonely Christians who
There
are single.
Yes.
And, because people would meet people, but
you can't
as you
date
say,
online, but you could meet somebody. Yes.
You could meet, yes, certainly. Yeah.
And of course, after that, a good relationship will develop. However, because people are so wicked, I didn't want to expose anybody to dangers, and so I abandoned the idea. Still have everything that I wanted. And when I told people I wanted to start it, there were people who were interested. There were people who enjoyed, because there are people who want to meet people. They want to meet, they want to mingle, they want to talk to people. And of course, with God's guidance, anything could come out of it. However, it is something that I really abandoned, not interested in it again at all. So we have to be.
Yes, just before as the sister mentioned, so many lonely people, Christians in church. We must always remember the story when Jesus met the disciples. And they say they were out toiling all night, and they didn't catch nothing.
Cast your net on the other side.
Said to them, cast your net right here. Wonder if Jesus is a madman, because they know about sea and fish. And they say all night, it's like cast your net right here, and we see the result of that. There are many people in the church. The person for them is right there, looking at them on a daily basis. Sometimes the person even contact them or try to have a relationship with them. But most time because of pride and what people see, many people just push them aside. And then down the road they realize they make a big mistake.
So Sylvester, how many do you have at your church?
Hold on. Brother Sylvester, you don't know me, I don't know you, but I always listen to you with a lovely relationship you have with your wife. Brother, it is so easy to find a good relationship in the church. Trust me on that. It isn't. So you better start praying for some of we who looking for a relationship and can't find a good one, eh? Because not everything that glitters is gold. Even in the church, Brother Sylvester.
I see Bishop unmuted. Bishop, you're unmuted. But I was going to ask, before you speak, Bishop, I was asking Sylvester how many he had at his church. Because what we could do is to sack a pool, as he used this. You says you're not free. You put your hand up.
No. It's to join chorus, not necessarily to support the tune being sung by what was said earlier on. She said there are no good men in the church. You understand the tune that?
No, she didn't really say no good men.
Well,
I didn't hear that.
Let me answer the attorney. Sir, in all due respect, I would never say that there are no good men in the church.
Right.
I know many good men in the church. So I would never say that. What I'm saying is that just as Sister Dr. Ward said, all that glitters is not gold. You name man. So it was easy when you look in, because most of the times the men look and choose. But when you reach a certain age level, you have to be very, very careful, because a lot of people not coming because they want love. They come in because they want help.
Yeah.
They're coming because you have to face the truth.
All right. Yes, yes, yes.
So I would never say that because I'm telling you, if I had found a good one, I gone.
You know, I had told that gentleman when he was talking to me, and he called too soon after my husband died, and I was upset about that. Give me a chance to grieve. Don't call so soon. And then, you know, he kept calling, and then he said, you know, I have to come to see that house, and I have to come to whatever. And I was so upset. I said, listen, I don't have a charitable organization. What I have is for my children. I think I was being pretty rough at the time, but I was upset. I was upset. He really didn't give me a chance, you know, and he wanted to come to see my house when he was living at somebody else's. Well, not he was living at a relative's house. He didn't really. Yeah, and I was pretty upset. I was pretty upset. Sometimes they come in, as Glenda said, come in for what you have, come in for help. And really, really, sometimes you don't know and you think it's a rare a love affair. The person is so in love with you and they pretend and then they move in and then we realize this is not gold. This is pyrite. This is fool's gold, or this is just brass that he polished up. It's nothing real. Yes, Bishop, I saw that you unmuted when we were talking about having few men in the church. Were you advertising? Were you, Bishop?
Okay, I know a young lady, a member of our church. Because of distance, she changed church. You were saying that she's courting online. So I was surprised. I know everything is online. So I said, how could that be? You're not seeing each other. Sometimes we can have a video call. But at the end, she got married and she's happily married. Sometimes she talk with me, even though she go to another church. So sometimes these things work out, but I think that we have to really be very careful because you can have camouflage with people and not know them. As I always say, people say I fall in love. I always change that and say nobody should fall in love because you can fall in love and fall out.
I
say you must grow in love. Love is like a plant or a seed. You plant the seed, if the soil is good, it will burst. We have the leaves, we have the flower, and then we have the fruit. So love takes time. Some people say love is blind, but as children of the Lord, we can ask for divine direction. He will lead us in the right way.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
That's right. So Bishop, don't take too long, you know. Don't take too long, you know.
Many persons are on my case, but I was telling somebody from Canada. I give the qualification to her. I wouldn't say tonight what qualification I'm looking for, etc. in the person that, you know, etc.
So we are praying for you, and we long to come to St. Vincent to eat some cake. So don't take too long, please, Bishop. Don't take too long. We don't want you to rush into anything and pick up pyrite or fool's gold or polished brass. But we certainly wish you well. Pure gold, we want you.
I am not rushing. I'm just taking it one day at a time. Sweet Jesus.
Amen.
I like it. And we wish you well, Bishop. We wish you well. Yes. So we spoke about going after these material things, the advertisements on social media. We spoke about the relationship baits. Now, yes, good night, Alana. Nice to have you. We're talking about job advertisements too, because we know that people have lost their lives. There was a lady who was, Eustace, you might be able to remember the case, but I think it was somewhere over St. James or somewhere. They found the body of a woman. She went to meet someone who advertised a job and she lost her life. Listen, people out there wicked. There are wicked people out there. And we're speaking to the wicked ones as well, and those who are plotting their next move. It is wrong. It is wrong. Please stop it. Stop in your tracks and remember that there's a God who created all of us, and he never gave anybody the permission to just snuff somebody's life out like that. Come on, it's time to turn around and stop the wickedness. Respect other people's lives and property. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. So if you hear this tonight or tomorrow or whatever, think about it and give your heart to the Lord. Give your heart to the Lord before it's too late. So sometimes we see jobs being advertised and the people ask us to come to their places. Do the research. Find out where you're going. Do the research and have somebody accompany you. Find the police station in the district and ask questions. Ask for escorts. Don't go to meet people who don't give you all the information. If somebody wants to employ you, they shouldn't be asking you to come on the corner of what street and whatever street to meet them. And then they pick you up and take you to where they're going. Sometimes they're taking you to your death. Or they might want to just rape you, abuse you in some form, and then leave you. Please, we are asking people to be very, very cautious, very, very careful about that. You remember the case where the lady was found after going to meet somebody who advertised that job. Her body was found sometime afterwards over
Yes,
breakfast.
Yes. I remember that, but that was some good while back, not so.
Yes, some years ago. Yes.
I remember that case. I'm not sure what ultimately became of it, but I will say this, however, is that sometimes, just sometimes, years later, the police get breaks on some of these cases. It happens. It does happen. Right?
Yes, and we have to be very, very cautious. You know, today I was chatting with my sister. I'm thinking of the suitcase incident. That's a recent incident. Somebody comes to borrow your suitcase to say they're going to Tobago, and I have to go to do some stuff. And I was saying to my sister, you know, I don't have a medium-sized suitcase, and that's what I need. I have very large ones, and I have carry-on. I said, but I can't go and ask anybody to lend me their suitcase. She said they would not lend you. Just imagine, look at how people deceive other people. Somebody comes to borrow a suitcase because they have to go to Tobago. Where does your suitcase end up? In a river with a dismembered body in it. And one gentleman admitted that he helped the person to push the suitcase in a wheelbarrow. We have to be wise. We have to wise up, you know. If you come and you ask me to help you push a suitcase, yes, you might feel yes, you really need the help. But these are not the days to just jump and assist people. You have to ask questions. What is in the suitcase? Why are you taking it to that place? Why is
in Trinidad? That happened?
Last week?
Lord have mercy.
Yes. Yes, last week. Dismembered body found in the people's suitcase that this man borrowed. That is the level of wickedness that is taking place. And so people have to be very, very cautious. All that glitters is not gold. That was not a suitcase with clothes in it. That was a suitcase with the body of a woman. We have to be careful. We have to be very, very careful. Now, suppose when he was helping with the suitcase, the police turned up. What was going to happen? Both of them would have been arrested if police had searched that suitcase. So let's be careful. Let's be careful. Another thing that happens is that people promise to assist people with visas. Promise to assist you to get your visa to go to the States. Or somebody might promise to assist you to get a house and you are paying, and I think a police officer was arrested recently for that. Again, you says, I'm sort of relying on you this evening. Arrested for promising to get HDC houses for people, taking their monies, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 to get houses. And the government is always warning people, there's no agent out there who can get you an HDC house. You have to apply to the regular route and wait. Sometimes you say you're waiting 20, 30, 40 years. Wait. Because what happens when you try to cut corners? You're breaking the law because you're going to pay somebody to get something in an underhand way. And I remember the incident at Courts furniture store where a couple of persons lost their lives because of promises to get items cheaper. Listen, you want to get something cheaper, go into the store and ask for a discount in the store. Do not let anybody come and promise to get you anything, because it's either the person is stealing it to sell it to you, and that's trouble, or that person is out to take your money. So we have to be very cautious. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is not true. And many people lose their money because they want to cut corners. They want to cut costs. Eustace?
Yes, Sister Bob. You know, something that I didn't speak of earlier, the bargain. When you want to get a bargain is really another example of what glitters is really not always gold. Because sometimes they get the bargain and it's just as you said, it's something stolen. And there's an offense of receiving stolen property, you know.
Yeah.
So when you go now and you get this bargain, that is the evidence the police gonna use to convict you, you know, for receiving stolen property. So say for example, you know the television might cost $5,000 and you go and you pay 2,000 for it and say, "Wow, I get a bargain." Next thing you know, police show up by you with a search warrant and you tell them that, "Oh, you're good to go." Yes?
Yeah, I prefer to get from the store. Yeah, if I see you walking the road with mangoes and whatever selling, I will not buy. I'm not sure if it came from your tree. I am not sure. Yes, these are the things we need to consider so that we are not trapped or we're not caught, purchasing things that
Trinidadians love bargain. Don't you know how many of my expensive flower pots that are stolen and sold, and people buy them, so the young man keep coming till I had to empty all and put them in black buckets and have all those pots in a back room in my house, because people like bargain. And if you don't encourage them, they will have to stop. They will have to stop this bargain thing. They will have to stop. But Trini like bargain, we like cheap thing and freeness.
Yes. I remember one day I was on the port waiting for the ferry, and a young man came up to me with some bracelet and something wrapped in tissue and showed it to me and said, how much it costs and so on. I said, but there's Wide Lima up the road and Maraj up the road and whoever else up the road. And he said, and me on the port. So I was trying to tell him, I'm not going to purchase from you because there are stores up in town. And he said, he's on the port. So he said he was putting himself forward as an establishment selling jewelry on the port. Why would I buy anything on the port?
Stolen.
Where is your store? People like cheap things. Really, they do. But when we do that, we are encouraging the thieves. If there is no market, they will not be able to sell it.
Very true.
Want anything that's stolen in the house. Go to the store. Check to see when they have sale. They have scratch and dent. They have the Wally sale. They have all kinds of sales. And it is better to go to the store. You may not have all the money, but they offer things on higher purchase and so on. And if you know you could pay the monthly installments, it's better to do that than to take something that somebody is crying for because it was stolen. All that glitters is not gold. The cheap thing that is advertised might be stolen or might not even be good. And sometimes you purchase these things quickly from people, and when you go home, you realize that it's not worth anything. So people who promise to get a house to you and promise to get this cheap and promise to let you have this, they are dishonest, and you're not to support them. And now we get to the pretty and the handsome. And we of course, spoke about that earlier. Sometimes you meet a man or meet a lady, and they seem to be so beautiful, well-dressed, all the curves in place, everything, the proper height, or the man might be as dark as you love him to be and as short or tall as you want him, and may have bandy legs and things that you find attractive, and that you think is gold. However, we need to do the research. We need to do the investigation. Find out who the parents are, who the cousins are, who the friends are, where they're working. And I've met people who have lied already about their jobs. There was a young man who told me once that he was employed at the airport fixing airplanes. He was working nowhere. Nowhere. And I used to call him, he used to call me and so on. And one day I called and his sister answered the phone, and his sister told me he's working nowhere. Don't bother with him. I hear him telling you all kinds of things. He's working nowhere. People tell lies, and many of our young people are caught by the lies. Many of us fall for the attractive thing. And nowadays, people going after heavy chain and bling and all kinds of things that look so foolish. All that glitters is not gold. Gilded tombs doth worms enfold. Many people get into trouble because they look at the pretty face, and there's a song that says pretty face and bad character and whatever else the song says. I don't know the other words. But yes, pretty face and bad character is a real thing that we need to consider. All that glitters is not gold.
Most of them big gold chain ain't gold either, Joe.
John, I just want to add something. It has some married men out there also, pretending that they are not married, window single woman, and when they get deeply involved, a woman might show up and say, that's my husband. So that is something that we need to look at also. A lot of married men, I mean, it may have women too. They would go out there and woo these innocent women, pretend that they are not married, and then when the woman, when they get deep into the relationship, they realize it's somebody's property that they're dating.
Yes. So yes, thank you, Sharon. So we have to be careful because sometimes we meet people, never visited them. Yeah? They can't call you at certain times because they're busy and whatever. They can't even visit you at certain times. All kinds of excuses. All kinds of excuses. We have to watch those things. They might be sweet talking you, telling you all kinds of things. May even be purchasing nice things. They have to meet you, so they're meeting you in a restaurant or wherever, and they have to hustle, and they can't talk on the phone. While you're there, they can't answer a call. They're rejecting the calls that are coming in because they're pretending that they want to spend all the time with you because they love you so much. What he calling for? Why he calling me every minute, and is his wife calling to see where he is? All that glitters is not gold. Thanks, Sharon, for telling us about the married people. And the married women who do the same. Remember, we balanced. Just as men pretend, women pretend. All that glitters is not gold. Pretty and handsome and sweet talk. You have to investigate, do the research, call the police station. He says he's going to whatever church, call the church. I remember calling a pastor once or emailing a pastor to find out about a particular person. And the pastor told me that he could not share information about his church member. I said, okay. Fine. That's all right. Yeah, but at least I tried to investigate. To the perpetrators. It's a wicked act. Just don't do it, man. Don't do it. There are people who are going to believe you, and it's wrong to prey, P-R-E-Y, on the vulnerable. It's wrong to fool people, to trick people, to sit down and work out some trick to get what people have.
Yes, and that Dr. Ward,
yes, sir,
that is why it is so important that all relationship, whether you're interested in the person or not, if the person is interested in you, let it start from home. Let them come home, and we have to encourage. Gone are the days we have moved away from those days because we say we have a different generation now. So most time in many homes, the first time parents reaching with the young man is when they already set the wedding date, when they plan the wedding. And these are the days, but we need to encourage our children and young people. If someone, a young man or a young lady is interested in you, start home. Bring them home, meet the family. Yes? And if we do that, we'll escape all these dangers and outsmarting, because you said the guy wasn't working. So if you say, well, I want to meet with your family, you see what you're facing with. So the importance of starting home, that is top of the line, and we need to encourage that to them.
Well, yes, and we also have to encourage them to choose when our former prime minister said choose your men wisely. Some people were upset, but that was gospel. Choose your men wisely, choose your women wisely, choose your partners wisely. And we have to teach our children how to do their research, how to find out about the people that they're interested in. Because then again, Silver say, don't want them bringing home a criminal. You don't want
but that is
house.
You start, you ain't begin nothing with the person, you know.
But you still, there's some people you don't want in your yard. There's some people who come just to scope out.
When the person come home now, you have their parents and others who will say, but I know he or I know she, you know, and they will be able to guide her along. But if it's something you're hiding, because today we have a lot of hide and seek relationship, even in church, hide and seek. And it's not until things gone out the radar, then the parents and siblings knowing. So, people need to be mindful of these things.
Yes, people must know who you're talking to. It might not develop into anything, but at least the parents know who you're talking to. And when you're leaving home, let's say you are invited out. Of course, you have to investigate carefully, and the parents must not just say to your parents that are going out. They must know who, what, when, the car number, where, they must know everything about this person.
John, just want to jump in. And next thing too, parents must, when you have young people coming up, the parents must let them know the quality you must look for in a man. I remember my father used to tell us certain things. Don't bring home a man who have a set of children, and a lot of different things they would tell you. Find out the person have to come home and have conversation with your parents so that they too would be looking for cues that you as a young person might not look for. So the next thing that I would like to say is that the young person who in love might be seeing butterflies, but the parents would see the predator who is coming to take their innocent child.
That's right.
So we need to tell them these are qualities that you look for.
Right.
Yes. Good night.
Yes, Mr. Sharp. Yes, man.
Very vital, good conversation, In choosing a companion, we all have to be careful, the man we choose and the woman we choose. According to the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 6, most men will proclaim every man his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find. Can I go back over it again? Proverbs 6 and verse Proverbs 20 and verse 6. It said, most men will proclaim every man his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find? Very hard to find. And as the sister was talking about quality just a while ago, and I want to give some quality within a good man also, within a good man. A real man, okay, a real man will spoil, okay, his lady with attention, affection, respect, honor, okay, respect, honor, and loyalty and love. Can I go back over it again?
Sure.
A real man will spoil his lady with attention, affection, respect, honor, loyalty, and love. That's a real man. I'm not saying that a man who just take you out to the restaurant or to the hotel, these are things that we all time do. You know what I mean? Buy your clothes, give money, buy your car, build a house. I'm talking about these are the quality of a real man. He'll spoil the lady, right? Okay, with attention, affection, respect and honor and loyalty and love. As Proverbs said that, most men will say that they are good. Okay, because every man comes, I'm a good man, I'm a good man. But let's check the same verse, they said, most men will proclaim every man his own goodness. You understand? Because our old people say, fisherman does not say the fish thing. They want the fish sell.
Too. Yeah.
Right, old people say that. So this is what Proverbs is saying. The most man will proclaim every man his own good, but a faithful man who can find. So I tell, these are all the things sometimes you look into a real man. These are the things that you have to look into the man for. I'm going to buy clothes that's good. I'm going to buy shoes. These are things that we usually do. Once you have money, you can do this thing. But I said, when a real man, okay, will spoil his lady, right, with attention, okay, affection, respect, and honor, and honesty, okay, and loyalty and love. Okay, that's a real man. And thank you.
I thank you as well. We always love to hear you, and we know you love Proverbs. You're quoting from Proverbs very often. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I remember that probably 2 years ago, we did a $200 date, or whenever that story came up on social media, and we discussed where the woman was saying that this man took on a $200 date, and she was so upset. We discussed it, and we said, it's not what he has. That's what he had at the moment. So when we're talking about all that glitter is not being gold, we're not saying that you're going there to feast. You're not a gold digger. And sometimes it might be somebody who is just developing, just acquiring, his things, just started to work or so. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about some people who are downright wicked and dishonest and have no good intentions and so on. People can grow together and develop assets together, acquire assets together. Yeah. All right. You had your hand up, Sharon. Or was it a mistake?
Yes.
Okay.
The last speaker said that, you spoil the woman and how you treat her. I just wanted to know if it's before marriage or after marriage.
Spoil all the time. I like the spoiling all the time.
Yes, we like to be spoiled all the time. Sometimes when the guys want to get us, we get all the nice things, we get all the nice name, and you're walking on air. So I'm just wanting to know, if after you're married 5 years, 6 years, if the man would still allow the woman. Brother Sylvester, I don't want you to answer.
Right.
But Sylvester is in love, man, on the
May I come in here a little?
Yes, Mr. Sharp, go ahead.
Yes. Okay, I'm married now for 30 years, and I never put away courtship. My courtship always be within my relationship. And this is what I'm telling you is the honest truth. Sometimes you could come and speak word, okay? But action is more, the action speak more than word. You understand? If you come around in St. Vincent and you ask some question, they're able to tell you who is this and who is that. Not every man will speak good of you. It's your Bible tell you that. but out of 10 person, you can able to do what's in, like when you're doing a survey or something, you can able to tell, well, okay, that brother, that sister, I mean, they're trying their best, but some would speak bad of you. One time to say, I have never put away courtship, my relationship, that I said, Oli Oren, I keep spoiling my wife as it. As I said, I have never break any flowers from the garden for my wife, but she do break flowers and bring home for me. But whenever I go to town, I always bought something. Whenever I always bought something and bring it back for her. I don't mean I buy anything for her. Anything that I bought and bring for her, show appreciation. And also, I tell you, Oren, that my daughter in the home, she said whenever she come up to grow up to get a husband, she want a husband just like daddy. And these are examples. Others are saying the same thing in the comment. People should be saying about you. Oh my God, I love that relationship. I would like my relationship to be, because I say be zealous of good work. It didn't say jealous. It said be zealous after good works. So our good works should follow us wherever we do, whatever we're doing. An example. And you said, Oleon says this should not be just in the, as I said, when you used to courting, you open the door for the lady, the car door. You hold her hand going down some super place. This should always be. Keep holding her hand. It's important when you hold a lady hand, you show to her that you cares, Hold her hand. It very, show to her that you cares. Yes. When you hold her hand. Yes. And she feel good. You understand me? She feel good that she, very important. Yes. Okay? So my sister, all man is not the same. He still have a few good man. Yes. Love the wife and then yes. Fall in the right thing. God bless you.
Yes, and we're encouraging people to be honest, be kind, be consistent. I've heard people talk about a man, but I think it's a story that was made up. Before marriage, if the woman was sitting somewhere and he wanted to go past, so he would say, darling, move your sweet footsie from there. And then after the wedding, whenever he wanted to go past, he said, girl, move your hoof.
Oh my God.
Asking for consistency. Don't pretend. Don't act.
That's right. That's right.
If you want to act, go to Hollywood or go somewhere join a drama group. But acting and pretending in a relationship is being dishonest. It's deceitful.
That's right.
And we don't encourage that. Whatever is glittering must be real gold.
Yes.
Don't pretend that you're okay, and then we discover that your gilded tool contains worms, or that it's pyrite or fool's gold.
That's right.
It is dishonest, and you have to pay for it. You have to pay for the wickedness that you do. So let's offer some tips to people who could become trapped by these people who are out to do wickedness. You have to conduct financial transactions. You said it earlier. Conduct those transactions in a police station or at the bank, paid with a check, but do not walk with loads of money to pay somebody for something. You don't know the person. You don't know what plans they have. And often when they go to meet this one person, what does the police report say? They went to meet this person, and then 2 other men came armed with guns or knives, and they rob you of your possession. So be careful about conducting financial transactions. Don't carry large sums of money if it's possible. And in these times, it is possible. There are other ways of transacting your financial business. So you can pay through transfers, and you have to know who you're transferring the money to. So you're researching that too. Don't just meet somebody and decide, and they tell you, send this and send that. Those online people like to tell you, send this for them and send that for them. Man, I tagged somebody along until I told them, I said, it's strange, that my cousin who is dead is now talking to me. Because the person, assumed somebody else's profile on Facebook and told me they were traveling and they needed money and things like that. There are wicked people out there. So don't carry large sums of money. Don't transfer money to people you don't know, in fact. And don't meet people in private places. So come, I have a television set to sell, and you pick up your good self and go on to meet this person in some private place about TV. It's wrong to go and try to buy it from the person in their private homes. There are stores that have sales. There are people who have businesses where you can go and get bargains. Don't set yourself up. You could die. Don't do it. And I'm saying to do not invite the salespeople into your homes. Do not invite them into your homes. 2 Christmases ago, there was this car. I was just entering my yard, and a car pulled up, and a guy said he wanted the back seat, showing me he had this to sell and that to sell. And I said, well, I have no money. And they said, well, you could pay in gold. And I said, just look at me. I was not wearing my ring or my watch, and I don't wear anything else but my ring and watch. So look at me, I don't have gold either. And so they went. Don't invite them into your homes to show you anything, to demonstrate anything. Don't invite them. Don't tell them, come. They may tell you, well, I'm selling so. And you say, well, meet me home and I'll pay you. But every time you tell them that, they know you have money in the house. You have to be wise. You have to be wise. They must not know what's happening in your house. I remember it was about a year ago, somebody called my phone, and they said they were doing a survey. They wanted to find out, can't remember what the information was. I said, okay. And then the person said, but we want to conduct a survey on males. Are there any males in your home right now? I said, I have no time for this conversation, because I was not going to answer and said, yes, there's a male in my home, or no, there's no male in my home. We have to listen up and be wise. Be aware of what is happening around us. These are not the olden days when we left our doors open, our cars open, and we invited strangers into our houses. And so it's not the same. Don't give anyone the impression that you have large sums of money in your homes or on your person. Don't share information about your neighbors, your relatives, your friends, your co-workers, your family. Because it might well be somebody who's trying to trick somebody else, and they're trying to get the information from you. Purchase items from established businesses. Paying a little more can save you much more. And you have to beware. The attorney told us, beware of receiving stolen goods. You could be arrested. We have to remember that the hearts of men and women are deceitful and desperately wicked above all else. Therefore, we have to exercise caution and ask God to give us the wisdom of Solomon. The Bible says if we lack wisdom, let us ask God for it, and He's going to give it to us. Involve law enforcement when you're making deals. Remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably isn't true. Let's be careful. Let us be careful. Let us be cautious. As we wrap up this evening, I repeat, all that glitters is not gold. Gilded tools doth worms enfold. Let us be careful. I thank you all for participating this evening. Thank you for joining. Remember that we are here every Wednesday at 9 o'clock, and we are discussing topics that are meant to empower, to educate, to inform, to transform. We are hoping that we could contribute to building a better society, built on the strong foundations that we talk about week after week. So next week when you're coming, please invite someone. When the video is posted, please share it so that others can benefit from what we're doing here. Thank you all. And as we're about to close, I see that Pauls are here. I ask Brother Paul to say a word of prayer for us, please. Thanks for joining us. All right. Yes.
Father in heaven, we just want to thank you again for the discussions that were had tonight. Lord, we thank you for leading and directing. We pray even as we plead, Father, Lord, that your Holy Spirit be with us. And it will infect and affect each one of us, Lord Father, that we can walk according to you. Take charge in our life, we ask in the mighty name of your Son, Jesus Christ.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Rest, everybody.